While browsing around on AliExpress, I was looking for things for packing the 3D printing filament in a more secure manner and basically pulling the air out and putting my little bags of silica gel in. And one of the things I found was these vacuum sealing bags. And I have to say, having tried them initially, I had no joy with these at all because I couldn't get the little valve to open. But it turns out that there's a technique to doing that. And once you've actually sussed out how it works, then it's not too hard. So let's take a look at the construction of this little one-way valve here that is used for pulling the vacuum. And either the handheld vacuum pump or you get the rechargeable or battery operated pumps as well. In a sense, this could have done with actually having a larger disc on the bottom to suit these, but it doesn't. Anyway, here is the construction. I shall zoom down onto this and show you the construction of this. So the blue layer here is the bag itself, and there is a hard plastic reinforcing disc. I mean, not super mega hard, it's still flexible, but it is a much more stiff disc that is placed onto that. Then they punch a hole through that and the bag, so there is the air for evacuating the hole for evacuating the air from inside the bag. And over that, and this is the sticky bit, literally, they put a little sticker, and that sticker there has little vents like this in it. And when you actually pull a vacuum, the air comes up through the hole and it has to spread sideways under the sticker and then goes through those vents, so that when you take the pump off, that sticker then sits back down and it effectively puts a sticker over the hole and seals it. The tricky bit I had was getting the air to come through this in the first place, and it turns out there is a technique. This may help if you've had a similar issue. Let me try not to drag everything into shot here because this bag is quite big. So if I zoom down this, and I shall just focus down onto this surface, and this is the technique I've found for doing it. Put the pump over, even before you even use the bag, and just pull the vacuum up and just hold it there for a while. After a while, the vacuum will leak a little bit. Push it back down and pull it again. And after, you can see here, I don't know if you can see that. See how the air is gradually spreading out along that sticker. It's delaminating the sticker, and it has to get to those little air vents. So pull the vacuum again. And once you've had success, you'll see, I don't know if you saw that, the whole bag suddenly went like that. And you can see all the little air bubbles now that are around that because it's basically initiated the vacuum. At this point now, you've broken the seal, so to speak. Let's zoom back out here and focus up to a more sensible height. I'll get my roll of 3D printing filament. These are quite well sealed, they're quite hard to open. And they provide this little clip, and it is actually quite a useful clip, it helps seal them. So if I get my roll of filament, which I've put down somewhere around about here, I've just lost that roll of filament, there it is. It was end on and it was super matte black. So when you put your filament in, and you can then put your own bags of silica gel in. I like the indicating silica gel because, well, it's good to have the indication. These are little, what do they call these bags again? They've got a name. What is the name of these bags? There is a specific name for this fabric. I'm going to have to check that. One moment. Organza bags. I'm not sure is organza the type of material. I guess it is. But they're commonly sold in packs of 100 or so on eBay and other sites. And they're useful for putting your colour indicating gel in. I'm not sure how well they'd handle microwave temperatures, but they're good for certainly putting it in to actually have it visible so you can look at the colour through it. So now I'm just going to seal this bag up manually, and then this little clip goes on, and it's got little ridges here that go in between the Ziploc type things. So put it most of the way across, and then press some of the air out just to make it faster, and then run it the rest of the way. And then you put the pump on. Stand by for loud plasticky pumping crunching noises. You can then start pulling the air out of this, and you can see it starting to shrink around the reel here. And a good indication when you've pulled a proper vacuum is you'll see the middle sort of bowing in. which it's starting to do now. And that is it. Give the little sticker a rub to make sure it's down, and you've shrink wrapped your filament with its indicator gel in there for easy reference. So that's it, I suppose, ultimately. I mean, I thought these didn't work at all initially because I just couldn't get it to work. But it turns out the technique is just before you've even used the bag, stick the pump on and pull that vacuum initially, just to actually just break that seal and get the one-way valve working. But there we have it. It's also a great way of storing your filaments to keep them free of humidity, because humidity can affect some filaments, and when they absorb too much humidity, it makes it crackle and pop as it comes out the nozzle, and it can cause problems with printing. So here we have it, a good way to store your filament and how to use those vacuum bags.